Welcome, everyone, back to B3. I'm Diane Campbell, owner of Boney Booties Beach Rentals, Flagler Electric Bike Rental, and Tree Trends. And I'm here with my co-host today, Ms. Shara from Sift and Sort. Welcome back, my friend.
Thank you. Just the one, Sift and Sort, because, again, I'm here to simplify things and not complicate them. But everybody has their niche, right?
We do. We do, and we have our hobbies, too.
We do. So welcome back. And today we have two very special guests with us. It's Amanda Redwine and Erica Flores. They're here with Vincent's Clubhouse. Amanda Redwine we will have back to talk about her own personal business, but today we are talking about Vincent's Clubhouse. So ladies, please introduce yourselves and what Vincent's Clubhouse is all about.
Okay, I'm Erica Flores, the executive director and founder of Vincent's Clubhouse. We are an organization that's been serving Flagler County for 10 years this year, providing services and programs for individuals with autism and related disabilities. We started as a summer camp in 2017 and evolved. Now we have our enrichment center that's located in the European Village, where we provide various programs and services for individuals and families, including our adult enrichment program, which is a post-secondary program for members that are 22 and older, as well as our afternoon enrichment program for students in middle and elementary school. Our enrichment camps. Last week we had our first spring break camp. We are getting ready to gear up for 6 weeks of summer camp that'll be coming up. We provide support groups, advocacy programs, as well as very engaging social events for adults, teens, and children.
Okay, Miss Amanda.
Yes.
Welcome.
Thank you.
What is your role in all of this?
I'm the board chair this year of Vincent's Clubhouse. I got involved with the Clubhouse as the facilitator for the parent support group. And that is near and dear to my heart because I became a therapist because my son is on the autism spectrum and I wanted to bring support to the parents.
What goes through the mind of a parent when they discover their child has autism, and where are they at emotionally and mentally?
It is the most isolating experience, mostly because other special needs parents are busy with their own kids. They're not out networking and that kind of thing. And for a long time, I think autism was a diagnosis that brought with it some shame.
Yeah.
Why is that?
Well, the world's not set up for our kids. And autism is such a broad umbrella that if you've met one kid with autism, you've just met one kid with autism. And so they're
unique like the rest of us.
special snowflakes. Absolutely.
Special snowflakes. So, okay, let's get back to they're isolated. The parents are isolated. And what do they do? What is the journey they're taking to get to Vincent's Clubhouse?
Yeah, it's absolute chaos from the very beginning, trying to get a diagnosis, because it usually starts at someone says, I think you should get your kid checked out.
Yeah.
So then it's, well, where the heck do I go?
Prior to that, they're probably wondering something seems off here.
Sometimes
Sometimes yes, sometimes no. Yes.
Sometimes
Yeah, especially
no.
if you have an only child, because how would you know?
You have nothing to
Not anything
compare to.
Exactly. So then it's, how do I get a diagnosis? What does that mean for school? I mean, mainstream school is not set up for most of our kiddos. For most kiddos, period, but especially for special needs kiddos. So what do I do about school? Because a lot of our kids get labeled with behavior problems because the system's not set up to accommodate their special needs. So then it's, how do I find services? How do I find funding? And this is a huge, I could go on about the social justice of this, but just trying to figure out, where do I go? It's different. If your kid were blind, for example, we have a lot of infrastructure as a society about...
And they're just blind.
Right.
They just can't see. So it's not like there's all these,
Right. So there's schools for the blind. We have all kinds, Braille.
Yeah, service dogs, yeah.
Exactly. But autism has become increasingly more diagnosed and understood. But we are still, in my opinion, you tell me, in the infancy of understanding it.
Absolutely. And the awareness and acceptance in society. I think that's a huge component as well, where there's a lot of judgment if there's a child, parents, if a child is misbehaving and having a meltdown, because of a sensory meltdown at the grocery store for whatever reason, because of the lighting, because of the music, because of the crowd, and their body cannot physically handle it, so they have a meltdown. Then you have people walking around and saying, look at that parent, she can't control, they just need a good whooping or something like that,
Yes.
and they have no idea what's actually occurring, So part of Vincent's Clubhouse is that advocacy work, is really trying to educate our community on what autism looks like. And, again, like Amanda stated, it's very different. It's very different for each individual.
So individually it's different. And how can you even begin to educate someone who is on the outside looking in that this may be going on?
I want to get into how you started Vincent's Clubhouse and what projected this whole journey for you.
So it started in 2016 when Vincent was 7 years old and he asked to go to summer camp with his cousins, which he called the kids. So he said, Mom, can I go to camp with the kids? And it took me off guard. I was standing at the kitchen counter, and I wasn't facing him, so I was glad that he didn't see the surprised look on my face. And I had to think of something, going through my mind. I'm like, okay, how do I explain that he has autism and that the camp is not equipped for students with disabilities? And then I'm thinking, is now the right time? He's 7 years old and he's not going to understand what I'm saying. And so quickly I said, I'm sorry, kiddo, the camp is all filled up. There's no more spots left. And he accepted that answer and bebopped into the living room and whatnot. But it had been on my mind the rest of the evening, and I thought to myself, if Vincent's in this situation where there isn't something as simple as a summer camp that's equipped for students with special needs, then he's obviously not the only person in this situation. So I didn't think it was fair, and I knew that there was a service gap. So we started Vincent's Clubhouse as a summer camp for children with autism in 2000. So that was August of 2016, and June of 2017, we had our very first 2-week summer camp that was held at the Learning Center at Santa Maria del Mar Catholic Church, which was, which is the church that we attend, and they had let us use the Learning Center. And we had 7 campers and 4 volunteers, and it was an incredible experience. And then after that, parents said, this is great, but what's next? We need so much more. So through that, over the years, we've expanded with our social events and additional summer camps. And now that we're in the Enrichment Center, being able to offer full-time programs for members of all ages in our community. Our youngest member is 2, and our oldest is 57. She turned 57 last year. So being able to meet our community where they are, being able to meet members that come into the clubhouse to say, this is what I need. This is where we are in this journey. How can you help? Mm-hmm. And that's really important for us to be able to accommodate those needs wherever it may be.
And I want to go back too, because this is not, you were working during this time, because going back to how difficult it is as a parent,
yes.
And to have a career.
Yes.
Can you just quickly go into your position?
Yes. So,
at that time and how you worked through all that to be where you are today?
I did. So I was a licensed nursing home facility administrator. So I ran a 139-bed skilled nursing facility in Ormond Beach. We specialized in dementia and Alzheimer's.
That's no small thing.
It is not.
No.
It is not. It's a very demanding career, a very rewarding career. So I loved it. It was one of the best times of my life. So the actual summer camp was my first 2-week vacation since 2000. That was 2017, and it was my first 2-week vacation since 2008 when I gave birth to my son and took maternity leave. So people joked with me all the time, and they were like, you don't ever go anywhere. And then I realized, I was like, yeah, because I take my vacation time to run the summer camps. And, so I was running the nursing facility, and Vincent's Clubhouse was my passion. So at that time, it was planning the social events and the summer camps, and being a resource for families that would reach out, and doing those 2 things simultaneously.
So Amanda, why the child is in the camp are you working with the parents?
Right now, we have quarterly support groups.
Okay.
Where we bring parents together because honestly, I don't do anything but sit there and ask questions.
Right. But you're asking poignant
Oh,
questions,
absolutely.
which can kind of not dig up, but surface those emotions. What are some of the questions that parents that you're asking?
What happens when I'm gone?
That's probably the
Nobody's
biggest
here to take care of
fear.
my kid. Oh my gosh, yes. Yes, because even if you have resources to leave to your child, who administrates that? Yeah.
Right.
And who cares enough about your child? Because lots of times, even the immediate family of parents don't understand.
They may not be equipped to understand. So, what other questions are coming up?
Gosh,
You're digging deep they're deep down in there, but they're really important questions for these.
yes.
And I think also not just the questions, but the support and the camaraderie that is built through the support groups. Obviously having a professional lead the group gives it's so much more information that we're being able to obtain as parents. To being, having Amanda to be able to help us, because I attend the support groups, right? So to be able to have Amanda help us navigate those emotions and those, those challenges that we are experiencing as parents and caregivers and grandparents. I mean, it's not just people that come to the support groups are not just parents, but grandparents, aunts, uncles, things like that. So, being able to help us navigate that and work through that, not just, I think it's spectacular and, I brag about it all the time because it's not just from a professional standpoint, but also someone who has gone through it as well as a mother of individual with autism.
One of the things that got me most involved with Vincent and keeps me involved is Erica's discipline in engaging professionals. So we work with a speech therapist, we work with an occupational therapist, and so there are specialists in each area that have contributed to developing the curriculum that we use and providing support to families. So we have resources to guide you to, and that's a big deal.
Yeah, and I think that comes from, like Shara had mentioned, my healthcare background. It was very, very important to me because of working in healthcare administration for so many years. That quality piece is I'm very, very passionate about that quality piece. And if that was what was important for me for Vincent's Clubhouse. So we're providing these quality programs, like Amanda had stated, that is developed by professionals and experts in that particular field. So that's something that we will never deviate from. That really is very, very different than, what sets us apart from a lot of organizations.
The truth is there aren't other organizations who do
No,
what Vincent
there
does.
isn't. And we're going to talk about that because you are celebrating 10 years.
10 years.
And there is a special gala being planned
Yes.
to celebrate these 10 years. And interestingly enough, there are 3 of us behind the scenes that have been helping planning this. And I'll let Erica get into that. But this all started with planning this gala because 10 years is tin when you get into the anniversary kind of medals and gifts and such thing. So Nina and Donna McGevna, Nina Galato, Donna McGevna, and myself approached Erica and realized what she is doing in this community. And it's far more than just having a nonprofit and raising funds for a cause. She is creating lifelong skills for children to become adults. And like Amanda said, what happens when the parents pass or their caregivers pass, what happens? And that's what Erica is doing for our community and for our children here with disabilities. So Tin became the Tin Man. And now we approached Erica, and when we were telling her about the Tin Man, she started to cry because The Wizard of Oz was the first movie that Vincent was actually able to sit through from beginning to end.
Yep, that was not a cartoon. It was the very first movie because he loves music. That's a very similar trait with a lot of individuals on the spectrum. And when they had said the Wizard of Oz, and I thought to myself, I remember distinctly Vincent watching, I was like, this is his first real, quote unquote, real movie that's not a cartoon that we watched, because he was able to watch it full through because of the music.
So
gives me
it does. It was meant to be. I mean, it was just the way it all kind of flowed through. And you want to say
When is this event?
It is. So it is Sunday, April 19th.
April
This
19th.
will release soon so that people can get a little buzz going on. This is the inaugural 10-year anniversary celebration, which will continue every year. So this is very exciting. And Amanda happens to be the presenting sponsor. So you clearly have explained why your passion and why you're not only financially, but as well emotionally and physically supporting this cause, is because it's very near and dear to your heart.
Absolutely.
And otherwise, what are we here for if we're not going to give back? Because if it's not for us, it's not going to happen.
Can you give us a sneak peek into what's going on with the gala? What are you gonna?
Oh, that's
Can you
a
release it?
surprise. No, because they don't even know.
I don't even know. I can't even tell you. I don't even know.
So it was amazing because Erica did give us permission to literally she has nothing to do with this planning process, which has been very difficult to not have any kind of say or decorations and planning this. So
It's been nerve-wracking, but so exciting in the same way, where I'm like, oh, it's something that I don't have to be involved with. This is great.
and that's the whole point of having support is that you have people
Exactly.
that do things without having, like, oh, I have a great idea, but you have to do the idea instead of that person just actually doing the idea and
It's
then
not
you
like you
benefiting.
started Vincent's Clubhouse just by yourself, right? It's all here on your shoulders to start with. And that's oftentimes where most nonprofits like this sort of thing happen, is a parent has a child, a situation where they need help, but since you're the one that knows, I got to advocate for my kid,
Yes.
right? It starts to pile up.
It does. And that's where our community comes in, and the transition from Vincent's Clubhouse, from a very small nonprofit, being run on a group of volunteers, passionate, dedicated volunteers, to making that transition to a mid-sized nonprofit, where here we are with staff, with a brick and mortar location. It's been an interesting, challenging, incredible experience to grow the organization, and to know that we are leading the way in Flagler County for providing these very unique services and programs that no other organization is doing, and I'm very proud of that. And that is not a one-person job. That is a team of professionals, dedicated individuals who are just relentless in the pursuit of inclusion and quality.
The relentlessness and the inclusion. Amanda, can you speak a little bit about how a parent feels when they're able to get their child included into a program like Vincent's Clubhouse, and programs within that? Tell us about that.
Vincent's has a whole plethora of programs across the ages. So we have things like Parent Night Out, where we provide childcare at the center, and the parents can go and talk with one another.
Just like you didn't have a day off for 10 years.
Exactly. Yes. And I mean, try to imagine hiring a babysitter for your kiddo who is an elopement risk. Most sitters don't want any part of that.
No.
We have a teen group, and they focus on playing video games. Those kids wouldn't. Now here in Florida, we don't have basements, but generally speaking, they don't come out of their rooms. And these kids are making up the name of the group, picking out what they're going to do. Then our adult program meets 5 days a week it's about 5 hours, I think.
Yeah, 9 to 2.
Yeah. And it doesn't just impact those adults. It impacts the whole family system.
I would imagine it would, yeah.
And so if you think about the stress reduction on the whole family system, we're improving mental health exponentially by providing a place where
I'm feeling this burden just by listening. I'm feeling the burden of the parent, especially, trying to find that help for their child. and discovering Vincent's Clubhouse and that huge weight being somewhat lifted off their shoulders, not entirely, but somewhere, this place
Just to
helps
feel
me.
a little bit less
It's
alone.
just a tiny little bit.
I can't
It's
tell
huge.
you how many people have walked into, how many parents that are a very active part of Vincent's Clubhouse that walked into the enrichment center, and have said, "Hey, I've heard about you guys. I just wanted to get some information," and have literally stood in front of me in tears.
Yeah.
I cannot tell you how many times that have happened, and they're apologetic. They're like, "I'm so sorry. I'm crying." But I just feel such a sense of relief, and I'm so glad I found you.
So they're arriving, if I'm going to use this metaphor, at the bridge that will take them over to maybe more sanity, maybe
Yes.
more clarity, maybe more we can get through this kind of mentality.
And being able to talk about it, I think, is so important because, like you
Exactly.
said, the isolation, you don't know who else is dealing. It may not be the exact same situation, but it's still a situation that you could have support for. I mean, it's like anything. It's like Alcohol Anonymous. Like, oh, I'm the only one drinking, or the drug addict, whatever it may be. There's millions of issues out there. And I think the more we talk about it and open with each other and stop being so isolated, the more we can help each other.
It's true, and I think that one of the things that I love about our organization is that we really do, because of the programs and services of all ages. There are other organizations that are niche organizations that serve early intervention and early learning or whatnot. But with us, we're able to support anyone where they are. So, for example, I have somebody come in and, like Amanda said, they're looking at, okay, I think that my child may be on the spectrum. What do I do? I've been in that situation with Vince where I can provide that guidance. Right now, Vincent is 17 years old, right? So he's turning, he'll be 18 in June. And I have to tell you, yesterday was a little bit of a wake-up call for me. Just even yesterday, I went to his child psychiatrist, and she had said, this is the last appointment.
I knew you were going to say
Oh
that.
my God.
The next appointment will be his last one with us. And it was like a punch in the stomach. And I thought to myself, Jesus, I have to find another doctor. And who is going to, the insurance piece, and who's going to know him. And
This happens in the foster care
Yeah.
system too. At 18, they're out the door
And,
on their own.
And what about the medicine? And he needs his particular medication. And, I just was like a punch in the gut. And to be able to have those professionals, in addition to those families, that I can reach out to that have, members in their 20s and 30s who've gone through this. It's a resource for me even to say, hey, you guys went through this already. And, and those are people that I see every day, parents I see every day in our adult program, right? So having that family, when Amanda had mentioned the Parents Dine Out initiative, that came from her support group. So what was happening is after the support group, there would be, it didn't end when the time frame ended, because the families would, conglomerate, and we would keep talking. And I thought, we need something in addition to the support group. So we have the Parents Dine Out. Like Amanda said, families are able to come. It doesn't matter what age. Our adult members, younger members, they're able to, it's free childcare activities and whatnot in the enrichment center. And because we're located in the European Village, they're able to be in the enrichment
So it
center.
could be right
and
there.
the families
That's
are
brilliant.
able to, we're able to go to one of the restaurants and again have that camaraderie and that relationship building. And that came from the support groups. So as an organization, being able to evolve and being able to identify where the needs are, and adapt and be able to create those programs based on that feedback, I think that Vincent's Clubhouse does that very, very well. And I'm very proud of our ability to identify that need and then take action.
So when you talk about resources, how do you find your resources of things that you're not aware of what's happening, and where do you go from there?
So a lot of research, a lot of networking, a lot of connecting. The Center for Autism and Related Disabilities actually uses Vincent's Clubhouse as a satellite location, which I'm very, very proud of. So they come down from Jacksonville because, like Amanda was talking about, when we have members in our community who are like, hey, I think my child might be on the spectrum, or they've reached this level and I need some additional support. a lot of times they have to travel outside of the county, right? Whether it be to Orlando, Jacksonville, sometimes Volusia County. Well, because of our level of commitment to quality and professionalism in what we do as an organization, we have an extraordinary relationship with CARD, which is where Vincent actually went through his diagnosis, and they asked us to be the satellite. They came toward the enrichment center, got to learn a little bit about our programs and services, and said, "Hey, can we partner with you?"
That's
and
amazing.
This is a nationally recognized organization, for excellence. They're incredible. So for them to be able to come down, they come once a month or as needed to be able to see members, to do, they bring physicians to be able to do assessments and whatnot right here in Flagler County. So our people in Flagler don't have to travel. So they use our center and through that are able to make the connections to additional resources. We have the Arc of the St. John. We work with, they're an extraordinary organization as well. Easter Seals, we have a good relationship with. So making
school
sure
system.
the school system, Flagler Schools, we do an educational series once a month with the ESE department. The professionals from Flagler Schools will come to the Enrichment Center one evening a month and provide an educational topic to our community. And we have our volunteers and staff from Vincent's Clubhouse to be able to do activities with the students. So again, you're taking that barrier of childcare out of the way.
I'm so impressed. Our little Flagler County, again, living
Look
here
at that.
for
There's amazing people
almost
in this county.
31 years being here, and I really had lost hope. But through this podcast, honestly, I feel like it is inspiring to see the dedication and the passion that people
There's
have
a
in this
lot of stuff
community
going on
to
here.
just outsource and resource and make things happen right here. I'm blown away. So
Well, as you can see, we're almost out of time
So
again.
annoying.
Ladies, Amanda, tell us how we can get in touch with Vincent's Clubhouse and wrap it up for us.
We have a website at vincentsclubhouse.org. We're very active on Facebook. We would love to sell you a ticket to our gala in April. We have the Autism Festival coming up in European Village the day before the gala, which is that the 18th?
April 18th.
April 18th. So that's the best way.
Awesome.
We'll have the clubhouse open, and we would love to
Is
get
there
to know you.
a phone number or a hotline?
Yes, you can call me anytime, 386-585-0926, or reach us at info@vincentsclubhouse.org as well with any questions that you may have.
I'm so annoyed.
Ah!
I feel like we should have like an hour episode.
Well, we commit to having these people back again in
Absolutely.
organizations so we can dig a little deeper, and certainly we need to do that.
Thank you
Absolutely.
for having us.
Yes,
Thank you for coming.
It's been a blessing. We're very grateful for the 10-year celebration that's coming up. We're very, very excited, and to the Gala Planning Committee, all of the hard work, and the sponsors and organizers that have supported us. And we're going to be celebrating what we've done in 10 years and looking forward to what the next 10 years is going to bring.
So awesome. Okay.
All right.
All right.
I guess this is a goodbye for now. Thank you for joining us today, and we'll see you again next time.